What's good, y'all? It's your boy P, and I'm coming to you in a very vulnerable way today because I'm dealing with a big name imposter syndrome. Really, how it feels to be an imposter. It's almost like not feeling like you belong in a place that you're in. You're in the moment of doing some type of work, and a small bug or some dumb error comes out of nowhere, and you're sitting there really about to jump off the bridge. It's like, am I really cut out for this? Am I really the person to be doing this work right now? Is it even worth it? And it's a ongoing battle of getting yourself off the bridge, off that ledge, and turning around and saying, let's get back on our bike and let's ride. Let's keep on riding, because when I look down there in that water, there's sharks, there's rocks, and also apparently you got boats running over bridges now. So let's hurry up and get off this mug. So in the midst of all of that going on, that is when the darkness is the strongest. You are in this place of question on whether or not the reality of you being able to become, do, or have something is almost like looking into the hole of a needle and saying, I'm going to splash right into this needle, right into the hole, go straight through, and have no problems. Now, when you start to try and get into that needle hole, you start to see, like, okay, wait, maybe I am a little too ambitious. Maybe I am not small enough to fit through this needle hole. And the crazy thing is that after you see all of these different things, all of these problems going on trying to get into this needle hole, it starts to become reality that, wait, there's something I'm not doing right. There's something that I am not seeing that everybody else just seems to be doing correctly. And you're just looking at everybody that is past or that has been through that needle hole. It's like, how am I supposed to fit myself, this big body, this big brain, into the process of this needle hole to get to the other side? And it almost becomes like it is impossible. But then you're seeing other people step onto the other side. It's like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what the fuck, man? So, you're trotting through it again. And in the reality of things, man, we got to notice a few things. We're the ones envisioning the needle hole. We're the ones envisioning that getting onto the other side is a needle hole. We think that is the way to achieving whatever it is that we see ourselves achieving. And I've learned that countless times with code. I always thought before you got into code, you needed to know all of these equations, no trigonometry, no geometry, and you needed to get flying color grades on that, right? You know, to even jump into that, I was like, wait, I don't even give a about equations. And like, why am I even doing this? And I had to really sit back and go through several stages of rebuilding and remastering my mind to want to go learn all of these different things. And in the midst of that, it's like, dude, I am not this engineer. I'm not this person that is um super good with numbers. I've learned that there are literally engineers that are just like me, that are on this side with me, trying to see that the path to getting there is not this needle hole. And it's pretty interesting because we're the ones setting the needle hole, man. We're the ones that are putting so many constraints on our own ability to grow into something. I'm starting to take on this thing where I am becoming friends with imposter syndrome. I'm becoming friends with that dark side of me that dislikes a lot of the things that was first like in my mind, like math, all of these different equations, learning, doing puzzles. Like, I'm not a puzzle kid, bro. Like, you give me a puzzle in Resident Evil, I was going to go look that shit up. But really, when it comes down to this, it's like, what am I doing here sometimes? Like, am I really into code as much as I say I am? And that's that imposter syndrome. That's that needle hole. It's like I set the constraint on myself, like, oh, like we don't give a fuck about um all of these equations. But really, when I started jumping into code, I started to see that it's not even about that, bro. It's really just about the structure, the actual fundamentals, and the knowing how to build all of these different functions and be able to utilize those equations to create a more optimized function. Like, I've been playing with Python and learning data structures and all of this other stuff, man. And I'm surprised that I'm not defeated after going through a moment of imposter syndrome. Like, I give myself the ability to go through imposter syndrome because imposter syndrome is like a grinder. It's like grinding you down, and it's like once you come out the end of that imposter syndrome, it's like, yo, wait, am I really here right now? And it's so rewarding. I actually think that the way to conquering imposter syndrome is remembering the reason why you're there. It's not about the equations anymore for me. Like, yeah, I know I got to learn all of these equations. Yeah, I know that I have to learn all of these different function setups, big O notation, trees, Python, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, when I start to see the problems being solved, it's so freaking rewarding. And it's about being real about myself too. Like, I can't come into this saying, I am this like great engineer. Like, nah, bruh. Like, we got to be real. Like, yes, I'm a great human being, but in order to become a better human being in this area, I have to master this. I have to go through the crap. I have to fail time after time in order to win. That's literally the best thing to do. I actually think school failed us in a way where they told you you couldn't fail. You couldn't fail. No, you should be fucking failing, bro. When it comes to something hard, you should be fucking failing. You should be falling flat on your ass. Face should be dirty. Should have a little blood and sweat, man. Like, it's good to fail, bro. And that's in school makes you really afraid to fucking fail. And that's one thing I've learned about like doing these equations and stuff like that. I learned that I actually knew how to do this stuff, but I was just choosing not to get involved because I didn't see. I was setting up this needle hole during that time. So, guys, it's really about like jumping. It's about turning around, looking at the needle hole, and expanding it. And the way to expand it is to be real with yourself. Is to see that that person on the other side and you have the same time in the day. You have the same access to knowledge now. You have a brain that acts the same. Like no one has a different brain from you. Like everybody had to get their ass kicked in the process. And that's the mental hurdle that we have to get over when dealing with imposter syndrome, is that everybody got they ass kicked, bro. Everybody had to go through this grinder. Everybody looked over that ledge and seen the same stuff you seen. They might have felt different about that rock. Like, yeah, I think I want to land straight on that rock because that rock is going to take me out fast. I don't want to land in the water. The sharks can pull me apart. I want to land on that rock. Like, listen, bro, it gets real when it comes to imposter syndrome. So I say to everybody, really take the time when you're on that ledge to really become your best friend in this process and see that imposter syndrome is a reminder of the fact that it is hard. It is a life or death situation, because it's like you gonna do it or you not, bro. Like you gonna learn this equation and make it do what you need it to do, or you're not. And continuously seeing that there is a road to the path that you're looking to complete, and not a needle hole. That needle hole is a constraint built by the mind. All right, guys, it's a spiritual battle. Peace.